You're very welcome to this time. Please, aside from you being a businessman, a hardworking and dedicated young man, who really is Usman Walijam, as your name stated?
Well, Usman Walijam, I would say, as you already said, I'm a hardworking person. I am still a student of Aligma University. I'm in my final year now and I'll be done by 2018 inshallah. A student of computer science, although as you can see I have much more interest in agriculture.
Alright, we know your late father was a very successful farmer and a transporter. Tell us a bit you learned from him during his time.
Well, when my dad was alive, he passed away in 2013. When he was alive, he always used to tell us, come and follow me to the farm, come and follow me to the farm. But we were young. I didn't have much interest at that time. Although I went with him every once in a while, we were forced to follow him. So we went to the farm. He showed us how things happened there, and when he passed away, the real motivation came from my brother, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello. I worked at his farm and at the family farm for some time, and that's when it really started.
Do you ever think of becoming successful in agriculture?
Yes, obviously I do, because with the little time I have had in agriculture, I have gone a very far distance, and I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the success, and I'm looking forward to having more success.
Tell us a bit of leadership position you found yourself from all this time to date.
Well, leadership has been with the family, I guess, because maybe I was born with it, because when I was in primary, I was once the class monitor. In secondary, I was the class doctor. In my SS3, I was the social prefect. When I got to the university, I was given the class rep. And right now, I am the president of Kaduna State Students Union, Alikima chapter, a senator of Gamji Student Union. So all these posts, I think, are leadership posts.
Okay, we think you've worked maybe in a while with some companies.
Yes.
Which you tell more about your company, Noma Nigeria.
Yes.
Tell us a bit of it.
I've worked with Walijam Nigeria Limited. I've worked with Chancellor's Farms Limited and many other farms. And last year I decided to open my own company, Noma Nigeria. Our first work was to do business plans for people that intend to go into agriculture, all aspects of agriculture. That's from livestock to crop farming. We later on moved on. We started handling projects for people on their farms. We started consultancy. Then we took a big step into food processing, which mainly we do chicken processing. We sell processed chicken. And processed chicken in the sense that we slaughter the chicken, we clean it, we freeze it, and we sell it off to restaurants, hotels, and many places.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us, in the next 5 years, where do you think Noma Nigeria will be?
Well, my aim in the next 5 years is for Noma Nigeria to be one of the top selling brands in the country, if possible Africa. Okay. Yes.
Presently, Nigerian economies are devastating more into agriculture.
Yes.
What is your view on Nigerian agriculture in general terms?
Nigeria is blessed with agriculture. I can recall reading it somewhere that during the Civil War, Nigeria in the war didn't have any oil and gas. The whole war was funded by agriculture. Yet we got oil and gas, and then our fathers abandoned agriculture and diverged into oil and gas. But today, alhamdulillah, people are coming back into agriculture. I think they are doing this because they know the value of agriculture. Like people, when they get to high positions in their office and they retire, they still go back to the farm. So this is just what the young people should look at. If my dad will retire and go back to the farm, then why can't I start going to the farm even before I start working?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Usman Walijam. It's a very good time being with you.
Yes.
At the beginning of the interview, you mention of you've worked and have a lot of experience in poultry farming.
Yes, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about poultry farming. What are the gains involved? How do we need to devastate more into poultry farming?
You see, poultry farming is a very interesting business, but if you look at it as a business, I don't think you're going to succeed. You just have to look at it as something you find pleasure in doing. Poultry has two aspects. We have the broiler chicken, we have the layer chicken. The broiler is the one for meat. They grow in 6 weeks and then you sell them off at maybe 2 kg, 2.2 kg. And then the layers, it takes them about 4 to 5 months to start dropping eggs. And when they start dropping eggs, they become a daily something that they do. Although let's say you have 1,000 layers and they start laying eggs, before they get to that laying period, they will definitely, like maybe due to heat or something, you will lose like 30 and then you are left with 970. This 970, not all of them can lay eggs in the same day. They have their resting periods, so you calculate it at, let's say, 90-80%. With that, with like 1.4 million, I think you can raise layers, 1,000 layers, and by the time they finish laying their eggs and you calculate the profit, you will be looking at a profit of like 5 million. That's from an investment of 1.4 million without building and equipment, but the production cost is definitely going to be around 1.4 million. So I think poultry is very interesting. Broilers, they are easier because they take little time, and one of the issues why people don't like taking broiler chickens is because they look at it as if farms use steroids, hormones and other growth enhancers to get these birds ready, which obviously they have their own side effects, maybe cancer or these things. So people actually run away from it, but I don't think most farms do that yet. What you should be running away from is the imported frozen food, which most of the times customs find maybe plastic egg or something like that. You should try to buy from people you live with, people around your environment. That's what I think on broiler production.
As being a successful poultry farmer,
yes,
what are some of the key challenges that poultry farmers are facing currently in Nigeria?
Poultry farmers are facing a lot of problems at the moment. You see, the feed that we give to the birds, it's composed of majority maize and soya. And the price of maize, I could remember last 2 years we were buying maize at 5,000. But last year, maize went up to 20,000. Now, right now, as I speak to you, last week I was in the market, maize was 17,000. So you can see the difference.
Okay, being a successful poultry farmer, we also learned you're a successful agriculturist. Now let's go back to agriculture. Was President Muhammad Buhari determined to review the agricultural sector as part of what attracts you to agriculture?
Well, I started agriculture long before President Buhari became a president. He became a president in 2015. I went into agriculture in 2012 or 2013, thereabout. So his determination only gave me more encouragement. But I think for those that are not in agriculture yet, since we now have a president that knows the value of agriculture, then we might as well use that to our own advantage and try to go into it little by little. Someday you will find your way.
Food security is still a big issue in this country.
Yes.
What are some key ways you think this issue of food security can be resolved in Nigeria?
You You see, food security is a very big threat, and it isn't an easy problem to solve. We have our population is rising daily, and without food, definitely we will have poverty, we will have terrorism and things like that. So with I think what we should do is to give more power to the agri sector. Agriculture deals with electricity, like people that process food, they need electricity. We at the farm, we need good roads that will get our materials, fertilizers and all to the farm. We need security that will secure our cattle and all. So agriculture cannot just be changed in a day. It has to go gradually. It's a gradual process. But since the government said it's trying to make agriculture easier for us, then we hope if more farmers get into agriculture, especially the youth, then the threat of food security will be resolved.
And then young people like you are going more into agricultural farming, poultry farming and otherwise. Why do you think youth now prefer going into agriculture than taking the normal white collar job, being in their offices?
You see, for me it's passion. For some, it's because they don't have any other option. Agriculture is a business where you can invest 1 million and you'll end up getting a profit of 2 to 3 million. So I see no reason to run away from it. And now, even if you want a white collar job, the jobs are not available in the country. That's to be honest with you. You might take 2 years looking for a job, and if you get the job, you will be paid maybe a banking job, you're going to be paid 100 to 120,000. So with agriculture, if you manage to get a capital of 500,000 and you have a land, by next year, then you will be a millionaire.
And now we learn you are now.
Your soil. If you test your soil, then definitely you will know which exact amount of fertilizer to use, how much rain will be harmful to your crop. You have to look at all these things before going into the business.
Mr. Usman Walijam, it's a nice time speaking with you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Can you share a little light about processed food? Why are Nigerians and people generally becoming very aggressive and becoming against the processed food?
You see, in this part of the country, I school in Kwara State, as I said, where I stay mostly with Yoruba people. In this part of the country, we in the north, we look at processed food as things that are not halal, while it's not actually that way. People think processed food are food that are fully machines are used to cut them, and in our religion it's done by human. So like I said, I own a food processing company, Noma Nigeria. We cut the chickens ourselves. Maybe the dressing might be done by a machine, which is halal Islamically. If you dress your chicken with a machine, it's very okay. It's just the slaughtering. And now that people are saying it's not halal, everyone is running away from slaughtering machines. So I think that's just the major fear.
Okay, do you think the federal government and the state government, in particular the Kaduna state government where you reside, are putting more into agriculture?
Well, this is a very tough question. The federal government is doing very good because every now and then you hear that there is a funding program going on, maybe with BOI or with commercial banks to help farmers access funds easier. So the federal government is doing okay. There is this fertilizer that the federal government distributes at a very affordable price. It's helping a lot of farmers. It has good quality. I myself have used it last season I mean. So it's very good. And then what we need right now is for the prices of things like maize and soybeans all these things to come down. And I'm very happy because I see lots of people planting maize this year. So obviously by the time the season ends and you harvest your crops, there's going to be a lot of maize in the market. So people will have ease of business. While for the state government, Kaduna state government is doing okay as well. They brought Walijam, which is a foreign investor. They are building one of the biggest feed mill companies in sub-Saharan Africa. They are investing about 60 billion naira or so in Kaduna state, which I think is a major move for the state. And we need to focus, in Kaduna we need to focus more on things like ginger farming, maize farming, soya beans, tomatoes. You see, Kaduna does like 500 to 700,000 tons of maize every year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Usman Walijam. Really, there are a lot and thousands of youth on the streets of Nigeria, yes, in rural areas and in urban settlements, absolutely idle, doing nothing. What key word of advice do you have for these thousands of massless youth out there?
Well, my advice is, you see, when you speak to someone my age about going into business, the first thing they tell you is, I don't have the capital, I don't have the capital. Well, capital is not easy to get, that's true, especially in this part of the country. But if you look at the kind of life our fellow youth are living, you will then know that yes, they do have some money, just that they would rather use it to buy a car, a very posh car, a very classy car, or they would use it to go out on a date and spend maybe 100,000, when if you invest that 100,000 in agriculture, after like 3-4 months you will end up with 400,000 or 300,000. So we just need to think more about what we actually want in this life.
Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Usman Walijam, yes, Chief Executive Officer, Norman Nigerian Limited. It's a very good time having a word with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being here.